Okay, and this is the Ice Cream Girls read along. Got mine, and I'm going to read from Poppy's section, a bit from Poppy's section now. Poppy. Killer Smile. Poppy Carlyle, one of the teenagers currently known as the Ice Cream Girls, is to give evidence today at her trial for her part in the murder of teacher Marcus Hounsley. Carlyle, 18, who gained her nickname after she appeared scantily clad, smiling and eating ice cream with her co-defendant Serena Gorringe, denies killing her former lover, Mr. Hounsley. She and Gorringe alleged there had been an accident following a fight that left Mr. Hounsley with what they thought was a fatal wound. However, police revealed evidence that Mr. Hounsley had several cuts to his torso, possibly the result of torture, and that he had ultimately died from being stabbed in the heart. Although Carlyle's prints were found on the knife, she denies murder and is expected to claim, while in the witness box, that Gorringe returned to Mr. Hounsley's house and killed him to frame her. Daily News Chronicle, October 1989. Poppy. The sky isn't a patchwork of quilt. Sometimes. Poppy. The sky isn't a square of patchwork quilt, sometimes with 2 or 3 metal bars running down it, sometimes with mesh wire upon it. The sky is vast and deep and capable of smothering me. For a very long time I thought the sky was that square of patchwork quilt because it's all I could see from most of the prison cells I've lived in. Even when I went outside for exercise periods, to go from one part of the prison to another, to go to the court for appeals, I would stop just to look up, and I would see how big it was. But at the same time, I would know it was just an illusion, a trick my mind was playing on me because I was loud outside and everything had to look bigger because it seemed so small in the confines of my room. Now the sky is a canopy that stops the planet falling against the moon and the sun. Now, today, I know the sky is immense and colossal and I could drown in it. I've forgotten how big the world is and how blue the sky is and how bright the daytime is. I take my first steps outside Portslade Station on the outskirts of Brighton and marvel at how crowded the world is. Titanic sky, gigantic world, dazzling daylight, swarming streets. No one notices these things, of course. It is all absolutely normal to them. You're going to find it strange out there, my parole officer said. You haven't been to an open prison and had the chance to get out for a little while, like most people in your situation. So it's going to be tough. Where have all these people come from, I ask myself as I wander past the level crossing beside the station and head for the sea. I'd love to head down to the beach, dip my toes in the water, feel the pebbles under my feet, but I need to do this other thing now. Any longer, any delays, and I might bottle it. People think that prisons are overcrowded, but this is overcrowded. This is like being trapped inside a swarm of insects. Everyone's so close and big and moving. When you're banged up, you expect to feel as if there are too many people encroaching on your space, and you expect that you have no choice in the matter. Out here, people have chosen this. They've chosen this life. Sorry, a woman says as she bumps into me. Immediately my hackles rise and I curl a fist, just in case. Really sorry, she adds absently, then rushes on without a second glance. The house I'm looking for is quite near the station, and even though I haven't been there for nearly 2 decades, I could find it with my eyes closed. Well, I thought I could. This street, Boundary Road, was here. But most of the shops weren't back then. There certainly wasn't a computer game shop, nor an organic bakery/cafe. nor all these people. At the bottom of the high street, I turned towards Brighton, towards Hove. It seems weird being surrounded by all these buildings and cars and pavements. I've seen them all on telly, of course, but they're different in the flesh. Bigger, smaller, more solid, less real, all of those things all at once. A woman my age or thereabouts walks towards me. She has the same mud black hair as me, and hers is cropped like mine. She is my height and about my weight. She even has similar soft features to me. She is the real-life version of the reflection I saw in a train window every time we went through a tunnel. I watch her come towards me and then pass me without even noticing me. I, on the other hand, stop on the pavement to turn to watch her. I bet she chose her crop because she liked it, not because her life didn't allow her to shampoo, condition and look after long, shoulder-length locks. I bet her makeup came from a shop where the assistant helped her choose the right shade for her colouring. It probably didn't arrive in a clear plastic bag that was embossed with HMP Trenby Hall and also contained cigarette stamps and phone cards. I bet she's that thin because she's chosen it, not because years of prison food have drastically cut her weight. I bet that flimsy pink jacket she's wearing was chosen because it's pretty and it suits her, not because it has to last several years and it's one of the limited number of outfits she's allowed. I bet those shiny black shoes with heels like spikes pinch her feet and make her miserable, but she wears them because they're gorgeous and she can, and she isn't forbidden them because they're impractical and could be turned into a weapon. I do not belong in this world anymore, I realise, as I stop staring at the woman who could be me in another life and start to walk on. I do not know how to be here with all these things. All these things are like science fiction on television and are now real and lifelike and unsettling. I make my way up Surrey Hill Street and suddenly the nerves are at me again. They nibbled at me all last night as I waited for morning, and they started to take bigger bites at my last breakfast, which prison folklore said I had to choke down to make sure I never went back. As I took my first steps into the outside world, the nerves sank their teeth right into my core and began ripping at my chest and stomach. I had to stand very still and let them feast on me as I looked around at the yellow-grey bricks behind me, the steady grey road ahead of me, wondering if I should turn around and knock on the door and ask them to let me back in. Once I decided there was no going back, I'd wrestled the nerves into submission, then concentrated on getting myself across London and down to the coast. Now that I'm here, my mission has been achieved. The nerves are back, jabbing and biting into every square inch of my body. I stop outside number 34, stare at the sage green door with its shiny brass knocker and black and white rectangular doorbell. I am terrified of what is behind the green door, about what will happen when I knock and the door is opened. I am terrified, but I have to do this. There are 13 steps from the pavement to the door. I raise the knocker and hit it. It takes 67 seconds for the door to be answered, and it takes 1 second for the look of recognition to appear. "Poppy," she says. "Hello, Mum," I reply. So that's it. That's Poppy's section. I've read Serena's section, and I hope you enjoy reading the book, the whole book. I hope you can also join us to read along with the pages, the schedule that we set out before. If you can't, as I said before, no stress, no worries. Let me know what you think, how you're getting on, and I will talk to you later. So, yeah, the Ice Cream Girls read along, hashtag, and hashtag got mine.